unhealed inner child, how past trauma shows up in the men we become. Now, welcome back to Balanced Mind 360 Wellness. I am Dr. Philip Montgomery. Today, we're going to talk about something that many men carry but few talk about. That is the unhealed inner child. What happens when a man never gets the chance to process pain from his past? What does that look like in marriage, with his children, in his friendships? And most importantly, what can be done to heal? Let's get into it. What is the inner child? When we talk about the inner child, we're not talking about something soft or abstract. We're talking about the emotional experiences from childhood that were never resolved. Moments where a boy felt abandoned, unprotected, unheard, or forced to grow up way too fast. For many men, especially those raised in environments where vulnerability wasn't safe, those emotions didn't disappear, they were buried. And buried pain doesn't go away. It waits until adulthood, when that boy becomes a man, a partner, a father, and then it happens and begins to show up. How it shows up in relationships, let's talk about how this looks in real life, in marriage or relationships. A man with an unhealed inner child may struggle with emotional intimacy, shut down during conflict, become defensive quickly, or feel disrespected when he's actually feeling unseen. Sometimes he may avoid difficult circumstances and conversations, or respond with anger instead of vulnerability, because anger feels safer than pain. As a father, this is where it becomes generational. He may be emotionally distant, struggle to express affection, or become overly controlling. Not because he doesn't love his children, but because he was never shown how to connect in a healthy way. Sometimes he may even react strongly to behaviors in his own child that remind him subconsciously of himself. With friends and in social circles, you might see difficulty trusting others, keeping relationships very surface level, or isolating during stress. He may be the one who says, "I got it. I don't need nobody." But the truth is, he never learned how to safely need people. Internal experience of the man. Now let's go deeper. Internally, this man may feel constant pressure to perform, fear of failure or rejection, emotional numbness, or moments of unexplained anger or sadness. He might not even connect these feelings to his past. Instead, he may believe, this is just how I am. This is just life. But often, this is unprocessed trauma speaking through behavior. Now, why healing is difficult? Healing is hard for many men because they were taught to suppress emotions, not process them. Vulnerability was seen as weakness. Survival, not healing, was the priority. And in many communities, especially among Black men, there's an added layer of cultural expectations, environmental stress, and generational trauma that request that these men thug out their situations. So healing isn't personal, it's systemic and cultural. What can be done to heal? Now let's talk about the path forward. Healing is possible, but it requires intention. Awareness. A man has to first recognize this reaction, this pattern, This pain, it just didn't start today. Naming this pain, it is powerful. Safe spaces, whether it's therapy, mentorship, or trusted relationships. Men need spaces where they can be honest without being judged. That's where healing begins. Emotional intimacy, learning how to identify feelings, express them, and regulate them. This is a skill, and it can be learned at any age. Rewriting the narrative. The inner child still exists. Healing means speaking to that part of yourself with compassion, challenging old beliefs, and building new patterns. Consistency. Healing is not a one-time breakthrough. It's a process, and every step forward matters. In closing, if you're listening to this and you recognize yourself in these patterns, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not broken, but you may be carrying things that were never meant for you to carry alone. And healing isn't just about you. It's about your children, your relationships, and the legacy you leave behind. Again, this is Dr. Philip Montgomery with Balanced Mind 360.